Yeah. I'm early. I'm early. Big shout out to everyone else who is early. I am so excited for this. Welcome. We're going to get started in 1 minute exactly. Um, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today. I will introduce the man in just a minute, the man you all came to see, but let me know you can see and hear me in the chat before I do that. Before we get into this zero limits, before you learn from the true master about manifesting, about money, law of attraction, about energy, giving and more. Let us know. You can see and hear us. Yeah. Beautiful. And let me know where you are in the world, because this is going to be standing room only, sell out. And usually we get people from all over the place, and especially for this man. So I'm going to get him on. Bear with me 1 second. But everyone welcome. Sweden, America, England, all over the place. New Jersey. Barb says it's the first time she's ever seen Joe. Well, I don't want to tell you who it is yet. Let's have a little look. I'm going to get him. Let's have a look. Here we go. He's coming. Finland all over.
I am here. I am looking for the video button. I have found the video button.
Look at that. Effortless man.
Carl!
I miss you so much. I miss you, brother. How you doing?
The sun has shone again. I get to see Carl Harvey. The sun is shining on my life again.
There's no sun in England, mate. We've had the most peculiar sun there ever, but I'll take the spiritual sun and send it to you. Oh, mate, it's so lovely.
It's heartfelt sun. Heartfelt sun. Great to see you, Carl. Thanks for putting this together.
You're very welcome. Great to see you and your world-class book collection behind you as well.
I see that.
And I love your books. Anyway, let us begin and welcome everyone. Welcome to this incredible live experience with one of the greatest teachers and humans I've ever met. He is, of course, one of the most handsome men you will see. He's the star. He's the star of The Secret, the best-selling author of far too many books to mention, including some of my favorites up here. Singer-songwriter, spiritual marketer, and one of the most inspiring, loving, giving people I've ever met. He has transformed millions of people's lives, but has had a huge impact on me in a million different ways. And I love this man, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today. He's the one and only Dr. Joe Vitale. Welcome, brother.
You are so amazing, Carl. I always love seeing you. Your energy is so high. Your heart is so open. You're inspiring everybody, including me. So it's great to see you. I miss you. I haven't seen you since you became a movie star in your first movie role, and that was it. All I saw was your dust after that. So it's great to see you again.
It's great to see you too, brother, truly. And welcome to everyone from all around the world. It looks like we've got a full house here. I've got an incredible training planned for you with Joe here. My intention today is to help you, and with Joe's help, of course, help you to become better at manifesting, better at creating and experiencing the things you want, to have a happier, more fulfilled life, especially with what's going on now. And hopefully we'll have time to get some questions from you on the live training as well. So if you have questions for Joe, get them in the chat. Just change the little blue box from hosts and panelists to everyone. Change that little blue box so then everyone can see your comments. Let us know you're excited to be here, and stay tuned to the end, because Joe and I put together an offer that is going to cost you less than a cup of Starbucks and will absolutely transform your life. And we'll tell you more about it at the end, but seriously sensational. I can't wait to talk about that. But first, let's get stuck in. Dr. Joe Vitale, on the very first page of your classic book, The Attractor Factor, which is truly the ultimate guide to learning how to manifest with the law of attraction. It's the one that I recommend to everyone, especially beginners, because the way that you encompass how to create and manifest the things you want, extraordinary. On page 1 of that book, you say, you truly can have anything you imagine. You truly can have anything you imagine. Do you still believe this? Even now, with the whole COVID craziness, the world's gone a little bit loco. Can we still truly have anything that we imagine?
I love that opening question, partly because I forgot what was on the first page of my book. I wrote that 2 decades ago. So yes, Carl, absolutely. And that's why it's so great that you are offering this to people, because we need to reawaken and re-inspire and remind people that yes, you can have what you can imagine. Yes, you can have what your dreams are. Yes, you can go forward and make these things come true. Too many people are falling for the media frenzy, and they're falling into fear, and they're falling into the darkness. And what we need to do, you and I and anybody else that can help us, is pull them back to the light. Everything that we've talked about, everything that I write about, everything that we're going to share in this particular training is all true, is all working, has always worked, and is still working right now. We just have to separate ourselves from the fear that is locking a lot of people in its grip and break free.
Hallelujah. How do you do that, mate? Because, I mean, a lot of people, I had lived all around the world the last 10, 11 years, and I just got back to England pretty much at the start of the lockdown. And, you know, Great Britain, when I grew up, we were very, very proud of the, you know, we wouldn't bow to authority and that we're a strong people. What I'm experiencing and seeing more and more is that anything that people read in a newspaper or they tell you on the TV, they're accepting as absolute gospel. And a lot of that is very, very scary, fearful. Basically, you're all going to die. You've got to panic. How do we ignore that? Or how can we keep our attention on what we want when there is so much fear being proliferated around us at this present time?
Well, you know that I've often told people that one of the best things they can do is turn off the mainstream news. The mainstream news is called programming, and it's programming for a reason. In their languaging, they're just thinking they're putting on shows to entertain you or to hold you. But in the mental programming, what they're doing is brainwashing us. They are programming us for fear. Now, as I say this, I'm not dismissing what's going on. We know there's a pandemic. We know there was a pandemic in 1918, so it's history recycling and reliving because we didn't learn our lessons before. But I also see that this is a divine, benevolent experience for us if we choose to see it that way. Now, when this first started a year and a half ago, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's a conspiracy. And I got tired of hearing that. So I went out and started making videos that said, yes, it is a conspiracy. It's a divine conspiracy. It is a conspiracy from a benevolent universe that is forcing us to go inside. And inside doesn't necessarily mean in your home. It means inside yourself. When we're told to go inside, I reinterpret that. It means go inside you. This is time for you to reconnect, to meditate, to contemplate, to reconnect, to reflect, and now to choose what you would like to have, do, or be. Too many of us have read the books but not done anything, watched the movies but not done anything. Now we're being told, well, you really shouldn't be outside right now. You really should be inside. That's actually a good thing. This is our chance to go inside and ask ourselves, what do I really want? Or to create a communication with the great something, with the cosmos, with the divine, whatever you want to call it, and open up that communication so that you can find out what kind of marching orders it has for you, and you can deliver to it your request for what you would like to have, do, and be. So I don't dismiss what's going on. Wear your mask, do social distancing, whatever else that you believe is going to help you, and then stop paying attention to it. Right. Go about creating your life the way you would like to have it, including creating peace and health for the planet itself. So to me, this is all, it's benevolent. It's a good thing. And it reinforces, yes, yes, yes. The law of attraction is obviously still working. All the people that are in fear are attracting other people who are also in fear. Hallelujah. They're proving the law of attraction by their very actions of stepping into fear. One of the best things we can do, you got me on a soapbox here now, Carl. So just give me a
hallelujah. Come on.
Yeah. I have found that there's 2 or 3 things that we can all do that can help us attract what we want. The very first thing that we can do is to read the material. Like you have the books behind you. They don't have to be my books. There's a lot of success literature out there. You read that so you can positively brainwash yourself to believe in miracles again. The other thing, besides soaking up all of this material as a new programming for you, is to be with like-minded people. hang out with Carl, hang out with Dr. Joe. Obviously, we do this over Zoom, we do this virtually, but you can do it. Rather than hanging out with the people who say, man, it really sucks, we're all going to die, let's hang out with the people who say, wow, what a great opportunity. What are you going to go for? What are you going to go for? Here, this is what I'm going to go for. And we support each other with a kind of a virtual mastermind. With the material, the new programming, the mastermind, and then taking action, we can still create the life that we've always wanted, and maybe faster than ever before, because we can do it without distraction.
I love it. And I love the balance between, yes, this is going on. I'm not going to pretend, I'm going to take measures to make sure that I feel safe. But all the great manifesting teachers say, from Napoleon Hill, I see in the background there, to Stuart Wilde. I was just reading in the Attractor Factor that you got to hang out with Stuart, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance before he passed. But what we focus on expands. Whatever we give our attention to, yes, we enjoy. So the more we're giving attention to, this is really scary, this is a really bad thing. What I've been encouraging my clients to do, or one of the things, is, as you've pointed to take this time to, if you're at home or if you've got this extra time, to learn a new skill, to finally start a business, to take time to read or to take new courses, and to brainwash yourself, but with the higher vibration. And yes, Joe's books, absolutely. They're going to raise your vibe the second you open them. Every page I open up, it will do that. Now, let's move on to the next one. And you started pointing to it. Manifesting, I believe, starts with intention, deciding what you want, but saying, I'd like to change this in my life. I'd like to bring this in, this sort of thing. What if someone says that they don't know what they want? So I still get that quite a lot. So I say, well, what do you want to create? Oh, I'm not sure. I know what I don't want, but I'm not sure. How would you talk to that? Because if we accept that we have to create intentions in order to manifest something new, saying I don't know what I want isn't going to be very helpful. So anyone who's on the training now or watching the replay who's struggling with, well, I don't quite know what I want, how would you talk to that?
Well, that's a great question too. There's a couple of things that I talked about in the Attractor Factor, the very book that you referred to. And I said, knowing what you don't want is a great thing, because that's where you start. So the very first step is go ahead and state what you don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be alone. I don't want my business to go bad. Whatever it happens to be, go ahead and state what you don't want. But the second step is turn what you don't want into an intention. This is wonderful. It simplifies the whole question of what do I want? So you don't want to be broke? You turn that around. What do you want? I want to have money. Yeah. I want to be independently wealthy. You don't feel so good right now, and so you're complaining, my stomach hurts. What do you want? I want to feel great. I want to be healthy. Turn those complaints into intentions. I don't want to be alone anymore. Great. The intention is I want to find my soulmate, my life partner, whatever the phraseology would be for you. So I say, turn your negatives into positive. Turn your complaints into intentions. And if people still wrestle with that and say, oh, I really don't know what I want, that's when I practice tough love, Carl. When I get in their face and say, look, you're lying. You're lying to me, but more importantly, you're lying to yourself. And why would somebody lie? Because they don't want to admit what they want. As soon as they admit it, they have to start making excuses for not going for it, or they have to start going for it. So I tear it all down and say, look, you know what you want. You know in your heart, you've just been afraid to say it. Well, I'm encouraging you to go ahead and say it. Between what you and I teach, Carl, and all the books and the offer that we have for everybody with this incredible package, we're giving them the tools to make their dreams come true. So all the excuses can go out the window. There's no reason not to go for what you want. You can have it. So let's begin by admitting what you would really like to have in your life.
Yeah, that takes some courage though, because it opens. I had this when I first met you, or when I first started studying your work and buying your courses and listening to them. And in my battered old Citroen car that I used to have, where the window would fall down, like to jam the ice scraper in the window to keep it up. And I was listening to Wealth Trigger, one of the first programs I bought from you, and you were talking about this. And at that time, I was saying, I don't know what I want. No, life's tough. This sucks. This is awful. I'll never amount to anything. And you helped me take those counter intentions and take a deep breath and be brave to say, okay, if I open up to this and admit what's really going on, it's because of this fear that if I say I want to be rich, or I want to have the Rolls Royce, or I want to have my own business, if I admit that to myself, then I actually have to go and get it, or it opens up the possibility that I might not. Oh, therefore it's easier to stay small. And you help me to let go of that. By the way, on the live chat, let us know if send the fire emojis. Let us know that Joe is on fire here, because I'm feeling it. What question about intention? Once you've decided what you want next, Joe, and you're a man that has manifested things throughout, I mean, the decade plus I've been studying you, I mean, the movies and then the books, but then you did the singing, songwriting, you've done all sorts. You really do follow your passions, and I'm going to be talking about passions in a minute. Once you've decided what you want, how specifically, what do you do? Like, do you write the goal down? Do you visualize it? How do you take that? I want to make 6 figures this year. What do you then do specifically to make sure that the universe receives it, or your subconscious gets the message? What do you do?
Well, I'll tell you, I've done a lot of work on how the brain works. Yeah. And in essence, there's 3 things you have to do to put this intention into your brain. And then the brain will deepen it into your subconscious mind. And as you repeat what I'm about to tell you, it goes into the collective unconscious. And then there's something that I've been calling the esoteric internet.
Esoteric internet, I wrote that down. I love it.
Oh, I'm kind of proud of the concept, because I was fishing for a way to describe when you state your intention and then you use what I'm about to reveal to put it in your brain, but you keep repeating it, it goes deeper and deeper until it reaches where we're all connected. And where we're all connected, Carl Jung talked about a collective unconscious. It's along those lines where it's almost an esoteric internet. It's a wireless system where we're all connected. And when you get your intention into the esoteric internet, that intention kind of travels around the planet looking for the people that it will awaken to help you manifest your intention. This is where magic happens, miracles happen, synchronicities happen, things that you cannot control, things that you cannot plan, things that you cannot think through, because it goes deeper to the unexpected, to the uncanny. So what do you do here? How do you get the intention down? All right,
yeah, your brain. You did it. I'm sold. How do I connect to that esoteric internet? Come on, Joe.
I love you, Carl. I love your enthusiasm. This guy is fantastic, I'll tell you. So the very first thing is the brain responds to images. So you need an image of your intention. This is where people talk about vision boards, and I'm sure you've talked about vision boards with people very traditionally. It's a poster board. People cut out or create pictures that represent what they want, and they put it on the poster board. Then they look at the poster board. Now, why are they looking at a poster board full of images? Because that's what the brain responds to. The brain wants to see visuals. So you have an intention, great, you can write it down, but now we need to bring it to life. So the very first thing you would do is find a visual, create a visual. Again, thanks to the internet, we live in this age where you can just Google it, you can YouTube it, you can hire somebody to do it for $5 on Fiverr. You can do any number of things to find the image, create the image, get some sort of visual. That's the first thing. The second thing, the brain responds to emotion.
Yeah.
You tend to get what you love, what you hate, and what you fear, which this kind of circles back to what we were just talking about. If you spend all your time in fear because of COVID or a pandemic or what the media is saying, guess what you get? More to be afraid of. You attract more of it in because you alerted your brain to say, oh, I'm interested in fear. And the brain goes, okay, let's go find more fear and bring it to you. So what do you do instead? You focus on love. Yeah. So you have your intention. I'm hoping you love to have that intention. You now have a visual for that intention. You now look at the intention and the visual with love, with passion, with longing. You're not looking at it with fear. You're not looking at it with hate, but the other activator, which is fire, like throwing fuel or petrol or gas on a burning bush. You're doing this with your own brain, which brings it alive. Now the brain goes, oh, okay, we got to go get this image because he's just fueled it or she's fueled it with all this love for it. And then the third thing you do is
one thing on that point, if I may, because one of the things my clients tell me, one of the things I struggled with when I started doing Nevilleizing, Neville Goddard, you
Yes.
taught me about this. You have to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Yes.
And I think a lot of humans find it very easy to visualize things that are going to go wrong in the future, things we're worried about, and to naturally feel that fear and to go, what if this happens? Oh, and they really get it. But they often struggle to feel the love, the gratitude, the excitement. What's it going to be like when I'm driving the Bentley truck, or when I live in this house, or when I've got the big business? And it's almost as if a block comes up and they won't let themselves feel those feelings and imagine them. Did you ever struggle with that? And what advice could you give someone that finds it easier to feel the fearful energy and emotions rather than the uplifting, joyous, wow, like I'm doing it, I'm feeling it?
I love that's a great insight and a great question. And this is why I think it's so important. I've put together a lot of material because I want people to understand how manifestation really works. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. There's a lot of misunderstandings about the law of attraction and what works and what doesn't work. So when it comes to, it's easier to imagine things going wrong rather than things going right.
Yeah.
That has to do with how the brain is set up to begin with. We are hardwired for survival. We're hardwired for survival. That's because in our brain, it is constantly on the alert for any sort of threat to our existence. And rightly so. We don't want to be in a position where we're going to be destroyed or hurt in some way. That hardwiring for survival goes all the way back, depending on your belief system, to the beginning of time, being cavemen and wrestling with whatever the animals were at that point and trying to get on
tiger, I imagine. Saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah, you can imagine a saber-toothed tiger. And so this is why the media, consciously or unconsciously, I don't really know which they're doing, but the media knows that's a hot button in you. Right. If it thought that you would pay attention, if it told you happy stories all the time, it would tell you happy stories all the time. But it has learned that you react to scare, to fear, to threats. And so it tells you all the scary news, all the threatening news, all the fearful news. And if you've ever noticed, if there was ever a day where it was kind of a slow news day and they didn't have anything bad to report that day, they'll say 5 years ago today, there was a disaster. And they'll go back in time because they want to activate that part of your brain. So they know that your brain is hardwired for survival. That's also why it's easy for you to sit there and daydream about all the things that could go wrong. Your brain is trying to protect you. So what we're doing is retraining the brain. We're retraining the brain. This is why all of this material is so crucial. It's so essential. It's almost like, well, if you really want to survive, learn all of this material, because this will help you survive and prosper in a far better way than just walking around with helmets on you and in some kind of asbestos suit because you're afraid to take any action at all. So if you really want to...
Sorry to interject, because for me, it really was, I treated it like working out or learning any new skill, learning how to drive. At first, it was very challenging for me to imagine, even for a second, what it would feel like to be successful or confident or abundant. But I just did it every day. I listened to visualizations. I listened to your audios. I'd listen to audio tapes. I'd read books, and I would deliberately, and every day in every way, I'd just get a little bit better. And then one day it gets into the subconscious and it's natural. And I mean, is that what you're pointing to? Is it a case of practice that we can do that to override that fight or flight thing?
Yes, it absolutely is a case of developing a new habit, a new way of thinking. Obviously, I mean, most people know I was homeless at one point. So I didn't think like this when I was homeless. I was feeling like it was the world against Joe Vitale. And even when I was in poverty, so I'm a step out of homelessness, but I'm not thriving. I'm not prosperous. I am in poverty. My mindset was one of pure survival. And in fact, if you or I had gone back in time and saw that Joe Vitale and said, hey, Joe, meditate more or practice gratitude more or do some of the affirmations or scripting or Nevilleise, I probably would have punched you in the face. Because I didn't even want to hear it.
On you, Joe. I bet you had quite a right hook back in the day.
I didn't want to hear it because my mindset and my habitual thinking was focused on survival. And that's what it is for everybody. We have to learn how to be positive, how to take action, how to state intentions, how to visualize, how to do all of this kind of work that creates a new life for you. But you can do it with help, with the information, with the inspiration, with the support. It makes it easier. I did it before the internet, and I did it alone. So it took me longer. But today, because of what Carl's doing, what we're offering, like the whole package we're going to be talking about, all of this is the new way of getting through life that gets you through everything, including a pandemic. You
Hallelujah.
can survive and prosper no matter what.
I've got so much I want to get through, Joe. Let's just finish the 3 steps to getting the intention into the esoteric internet. So we've got number 1 is the imagery. So to visualize, to have the vision board, because that's how the subconscious works in images. Second is that strong emotion, strong positive emotion. What's the third thing?
Third is repetition.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, doing this every day. This is why they say do it in the morning, do it in the evening. Those are prime opportunities where kind of the window or the door is open to the subconscious. So if you spend a little time in bed before you go to sleep or right after you awaken, and you are visualizing and you are feeling and you're doing what you had said, Nevilleizing. I love Neville. And Nevilleizing is when you imagine everything's already happened. It's already done. It's over. You already created it. And step into that feeling. So if you wanted to be in this new home, you imagine you awakened in the new home and you were walking around in it the night before. What does all that feel like? You're kind of in a trance. We're all in trances anyway, but we're in trances of limitation. And what I'm trying to do is get people to go into trances of abundance and prosperity. So repetition, seeing your vision, seeing your visual board, Nevilleizing the experience as if it's already done, imagining who you would call, what you would say, what you would write about when you've already manifested what you want. All of this sends it into the brain. Once it's lodged into the brain, it starts to go down through the subconscious to the unconscious to the collective unconscious. And that esoteric internet, which I think is so cool.
I only saw that today when I was preparing. I was like, I've got to tell Joe, that's magnificent. Esoteric internet.
Well, it might be one of my next books. I'll just talk about the esoteric internet and how to have, do, or be what you want by slipping your intentions into this. Yeah. Because the esoteric internet is how we're all connected. There was different words for it. Napoleon Hill, I reread his book because I was filmed for a movie that's being done about him. And in it, he called it infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence. So this is more than just your intelligence. This is infinite intelligence. And when you put your intention into it, it has access to things you can't even imagine. You can't predict. It goes beyond your own personal connections because we're all connected on this invisible level. And the message can go out and awaken somebody in Singapore who does a Google search one day and comes across your name and then writes you out of the blue. And even the guy in Singapore is going, I don't know why, but I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was thinking of Carl Harvey. You know,
who can blame it?
Carl's message went to the internet, the esoteric internet. It went around the world and it reached that guy in Singapore at a prime open time, which was while he was sleeping. Anyway, I can go on forever with that kind of stuff.
I feel you. And I'm sure, I mean, you're a massive student of Napoleon Hill like I am. What you just described there, those 3 steps of getting the intention in. Napoleon Hill said, your subconscious mind will act on any orders given to it in a spirit of faith. However, those orders have to be repeated again and again and again before they take hold. And that's literally it. And this is how you've taught me to do it and what I've done over the last decade or so. And it really is. Decide what you want, visualize, imagine it, vision board it up, feel it, and understand that if it, on day one, if it doesn't immediately change your life, you need to do the repetition. Our mutual friend, John Assarath and Dr. Paul Shealy talk a lot about the neuroscience of this, about how you really do just need to repeat it. And then one day you wake up and something has shifted. And that's when the magic can begin to happen. Now, let's talk about cash money, because one of the biggest intentions of my audience is learning how to create money and financial abundance, especially doing something that they love and want to do. You've, Joe, helped me, I mean, so much to manifest money specifically from my passions in each and every way and develop a much healthier relationship with money. At first, I was just chasing it in order so that I could feel I thought that would make me feel successful if I made a bit of money. Then it's going to heal all of my past wounds and whatnot. It helped me to then put money in its appropriate place. But money can be an incredible tool to do good and to see the world and to have all the experiences you want. However, so many people experience negative attachments, relationships to money. So what are some of your best tips? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but for someone watching who wants to manifest more money and abundance, particularly doing something that they love, I mean, where do we begin? How do we do that?
Well, it's a great question, and it's an easy answer. It may take a little work, but this goes back to the very thing we were just talking about. We have habits of being. We have habits of thinking, and those habits are deeply ingrained. They're already wired, and we have them around money. Now, most of the beliefs around money are about scarcity.
Yeah.
Most of the beliefs around money are the idea that not only is money scarce, money's difficult to get, and here's the big one. This is the big one. Money is the root of all.
Yeah, it's bad, evil, exactly.
Evil.
So you want it. I really want it because I need it because the bills are mounting up and I really want it. However, if I get it, that means I'm a bad person and I don't really want it. So it's this inner conflict, struggle.
Yeah. That's it. Well, let's blow the whistle on that right now. I want to just demolish that for everybody that's watching right now. So let's look at it. Now, this is only one of the beliefs. I talk about 8 different beliefs about money and a bigger program I have, but I think this is the key one, because when we erase this particular belief, we open ourselves to receive money. Now we can have it come in, we can use it, we can appreciate it, we can direct it wherever we want it to go, we can buy, we can invest, we can give, because we're free. We're free. So the belief is the love of money is money is the root of all evil is the belief most people have. And believe me, I've been all over the world. It's in Iran, it's in Russia, it's in the Ukraine, it's in London, it's everywhere. It's in their unconscious mind. It's been around for thousands of years. And so people just kind of glibly go, money is evil, money's bad. I got to have money to pay the bills. But as you point out, I don't really want it because that's a bad thing. Yeah. So is money bad? The quote is a fracture from a longer sentence from biblical literature that says the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, before we go very far, I always point out this is a translated, retranslated, popularized phrase that comes from 2,000 years ago. We don't actually know what was really even said. And so we end up coming down the pike here, and after generations, after thousands of years, we end up with a phrase that says, hey, money is the root of all evil. Okay, let's look at that for a second. The healthy, well-adjusted, wealthy people I know are not in love with money. They are not in love with money. This is the important distinction, because even if you still believe that quote, money is the root of all evil, the longer one, the love of money is the root of all evil, but if you understand, you don't have to love money. The big turnaround is when you learn what Arnold Patent wrote. Arnold Patent was a spiritual teacher and deeply influenced me. And he wrote a quote that I put in 2 or 3 of my books.
He was Paul Scheele's biggest mentor as well, Arnold Patent.
Oh, was he? Yeah, well, he influenced a lot of people, including me. So Arnold Patent said, and I just love this quote. I'm pausing for theatrical emphasis.
Me too, and I think I know which one you're going to say, but I'll pause with you.
Arnold Patent said, the sole purpose of money is to express appreciation.
It was the one I was thinking of. Yes.
The sole purpose of money is to express appreciation. So let's look at that for a second. When I first heard it, I thought, oh, come on, there must be an exception to that. Then I started thinking, when I pay the phone bill, I'm grateful to have a phone.
Right.
When I pay the grocery bill, I'm grateful to have food. When I pay for the internet or electricity or utilities or gas or whatever, I'm grateful to have all of that. I pay a car payment. Man, I'm grateful to have my car. Instead of what did most people do, and what did I used to do? Grumble as I wrote the check, complain as I wrote the check. Part of that is because I think there isn't enough. I think that, well, by writing this check, no more is going to come into me, which is another illusion. You always get more money. Always. It always shows up. As soon as there is a vacuum, it starts coming in. How much comes in depends a lot on your mindset. The other thing that I've said in a lot of my material is money doesn't have any beliefs about you.
Yeah.
You have beliefs about money. And it's your beliefs around money that is limiting it. So what I'm trying to do right here, what I am doing right here, Carl, is letting people know money is a neutral tool. I would pick up a pen and I would say, saying money is bad is like saying this pen's bad. With this pen, I can take it and I can probably stab you. I could probably write a nasty note to you and you wouldn't like it. Or I can take this pen and I can write a love letter, the great American novel, a song, a poem, a movie. Is it the pen or is it me?
Hallelujah.
That's how money is. Just imagine that the pen is money. How you use it is your decision. So I want people to realize money's neutral. It's an agreed upon means of exchange. Instead of me giving Carl a goat and Carl gives me
I'll take a goat from you, bruv. I mean, I'm moving. I've got a couple of puppies, but we'll squeeze a goat in if you want.
I have a puppy now. I have a puppy. No more puppies.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But the point is, money is an agreed upon means of exchange. It's a wonderful tool, and it's a tool for appreciation. The other thing I want to say is, we all have these dreams. Money is one of the coolest tools to make your dreams come true.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah. If people care about Africa or the pandemic in India or people or causes that you really care about, you allow money to come in and you're a steward for money. You can direct it where you think it would do the most good.
Yeah,
this is one of the most powerful reasons for wanting money and allowing money to be in your house, in your house and your life. Not only do you use it for yourself, your family, your friends, your community, you can use it for the world.
Hallelujah.
I just finished the book. I'm sorry, I'm on a roll again, Carl. You can leave.
I'm going to go get me goat. Did you put it in the post?
I want to say one more thing. I just finished the book called Karmic Marketing, and it'll be out later in the years. I'm not trying to sell anybody on it.
Oh.
Karmic Marketing, which I subtitled The Greatest Money-Making Secret in History. And karmic marketing is all about giving. And when I was doing the research for the book, I found that the greatest titans, tycoons, most famous, successful, wealthy people throughout history all practiced this. Not only were they at peace with money, and so money could come to them, but they aimed it where it could do good. They've given away massive, staggering amounts of money, and they started doing it before they even really had money. And part of the reason that they got money now is that they made peace with money. They were giving money, which allowed them to receive money. So all of this is around the concept of mindset.
I mean, hallelujah. There was so much to unpack there. I hope you take your notes, everyone. The sole purpose of money is to express appreciation. And you taught me that, I mean, several years ago now, and Paul Sheely had as well via Arnold Patton. Completely shifted my relationship, because instead of, at first I was using money as an ego tool. So money means that I can let go of all these limiting beliefs and fears I have about myself, this lack of self-love. And then that didn't work. And then, you know, a little bit of me in the early 20s, I made a bit of money. Then it's, oh, I'm powerful now. I'm the guy with the money. Obviously that didn't work either. You helped me to understand that money is a wonderful tool for appreciation. So an example that flashed in my mind is, I'm incredibly blessed that before the pandemic, I was able to fly to Texas, to your home, bring you a nice box of the fanciest cigars they had on sale, get a 3-hour Uber out from Texas to your ranch, and, you know, to express appreciation to you. I wouldn't be able to do that with money. Yesterday, I got me uncle who takes me to the gym every day. A new pair of Jordan shoes, which he loves, and then a Mercedes convertible, which he always wanted. And that's me showing my appreciation. He trains me in the gym. He used to be a bodybuilder. It's a way of demonstrating appreciation to him. And that energy is so positive. And it's, look how synchronous this is, because you haven't seen the questions I want to ask you. The next question is all about giving, because then you taught me that you can't outgive the universe. And you told me that first time. I was like, surely there's exceptions. You can't outgive the universe. You were like, oh, just go and try it. Try and try and outgive the universe, and then see what happens. So what do you mean by this? And what are some practical ways that we can start testing this idea out, that you cannot outgive the universe?
Well, first of all, it all begins with beliefs. So if somebody believes that the universe isn't going to give back, they will self-sabotage
Right.
the experience and find a way to block it. Even when the universe is trying to deliver them something, they might turn their back on it. They might say no to it. They might rationalize it. So again, I always want to point out that we live in a belief-driven universe. If you want a different experience, you have to change your beliefs. This is why virtually everything that we talk about always comes back to beliefs for me, whether it is giving or money or relationships or any of the law of attraction, Ho'oponopono, giving, it doesn't matter. It comes back to beliefs. I tell people we live in an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Life is an optical illusion. There is available to you virtually anything you want to see. You can look at the world from a cynical view and say, well, it's all going to burn out. There's nothing good here. And you can go on Google and you can find resources, books, people to support that belief. By the same token, another person who believes we live in a benevolent universe, it's not going to burn out. It self-corrects, it self-heals. We get new awakenings, new things are discovered, and life just keeps going on and getting better and better. That person will go on Google, do the research. They'll find the resources, the studies, the people, the groups that prove their point, which is true. Both are true, which means you in the middle get to choose. Now, most of us have chosen by default until maybe even this moment when Carl and I are doing this training for you. Maybe you never thought about it before. Maybe you're just looking at the world the way you've always looked at the world because that's how you were trained to look at the world, but you were trained at such an early age, you don't even know that it was a choice. But today, I'm saying, and Carl was saying, this is a choice. So it's the same with giving. In fact, the book, Karmic Marketing, that'll be out later in the year.
Can't wait. And in the live chat, you've already made about 100 sales already. So can't wait. Honestly, cannot wait for that one. Karmic Marketing. First revealed with Koavi. Yes. It sounds amazing.
We'll do that, Carl, when the book comes out. You and I will get together and talk about this.
I'll do it on my Abundance Book Club as well. And there's 300 odd members there. So I'll buy 300 copies for the members in the group as well. That'd be amazing. For the
this is giving right here. I'm not getting paid to be here. I'm giving this.
Yeah.
I have a t-shirt. I was going to wear it just for you, Carl. And it says, I'm charging you for this conversation. But I thought some people would think I really am charging. I'm not charging. I'm giving. In fact, Carl is giving. Carl and I both get together. We both get excited. We love each other. His energy is fantastic. We play off each other well. And we just said, let's dance. Let's do a training. Let's make this training free. And even though we have an offer at the end, we're not doing it for that. We're not getting paid.
Spoiler alert, it's amazing. I'm giving two grand worth of bonuses and it costs less than a cup of Starbucks. So no, we're definitely not doing this one for the money. This
right,
is
right.
Look how lit up we both are and everyone in the live chat. It's glorious, beautiful energy. Beautiful.
Wow. Thank you for, I don't see all the chats, but thank you for the nice comments and everything. But give all the love to Carl. He's the one with the giant heart that's doing all this and invited me to do this for you. So as for giving, I have stories in the new book, Karmic Marketing. For example, Percy Ross was a multimillionaire and he retired and he said his entire life is going to be dedicated to giving his money away.
Boss.
Couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He even had a newspaper column that was called Ask for the Moon. And people would write in and tell their sad story or tell what their intention is. And if he bought what they were selling, meaning if he believed their story, he'd write them a check. He'd help them fulfill their dream. He did this for years. His column was nationally syndicated around America. And at the end of his life, he had more money than when he began. He could not give it away.
Wow.
Now, when I was homeless, I didn't buy that concept at all. When I was in poverty, I didn't buy that concept at all. But as I started to keep working on myself and I kept hearing about the power of giving, and some people look at tithing, but this is a little bit different. I talk about giving to where you're spiritually enriched, to where you are inspired. And that could be an Uber driver. That could be your trainer. That could be anybody.
Allow me to interject quickly because this flashed in my mind a moment ago. I don't know if you remember this. Last time I hang out at your house in Texas, you took me for lunch at a Mexican restaurant. And number one, you insisted on paying for me. Lovely. So naturally, I went hard on the order and I was like, yeah, give me those tortillas as well. Keep double the nachos. You were so lovely to the waitresses, to everyone in there. Your energy was just pure. You wanted everyone to be lit up. And this is saying I've learned from you and I do. But there's no, I think some people might, and I'm mind reading a bit, but they might assume, oh, you know, you give in business or you give to someone who you're going to get something from. What I'm saying is you walked in and it was like your mission is you want everyone to be lit up. You want everyone to have the best day, yes, even though seemingly there's nothing for you in it, right, but that's who you are. And you give in every way, but giving of that energy. Because I think a lot of people, they're like, well, I haven't got much money, so I can't really give. Or, you know, it's easy for you to give a car away, but you give the love, the energy, the attention, the focus on people. You light people up. And that's a form of giving, right?
It is. Carl, thank you so much for saying that and pointing that out, because I don't know how people look at this. So let me tell you this. Andres Pira is a young billionaire in Thailand, and I helped him write his book, Homeless to Billionaire. And he calls the giving part, because he's a big giver. And again, he was homeless. This is another guy who was homeless when he was 20 years old. He started practicing the very things you and I teach. And he was reading the early books, and he says he contributes his success to me, even though all I did was write the books. He read them and acted on everything. So he's a billionaire now, and he is giving. It's one of his principles in his book, Homeless to Billionaire, but he calls it vibrational giving.
Boom.
Vibrational giving. So as you were pointing out, when we were at that restaurant, which I had forgotten about until you tell me now, and I was doing my best to make everybody feel good. You know why? Because it made me feel good.
Yeah.
It was a vibrational giving. My giving elevated my own vibe. Let me tell you a different story here. And this is more transparent and revealing, but it's relevant. I, as you know, went through a divorce. And so my property, I sold all of it. The Wimberley estate is gone. I sold it. Wow. But the stuff that was in it, I gave away. My gym, if you remember my gym, you were in my gym. You've been
I was talking about it to my stepdad yesterday about the Benjamin Hall and the,
You've been a nail in my gym. I had $100,000 worth of equipment in my gym. I built that gym, stocked that gym with physical culture, historic, collectible items. My trainer, who had trained me for 10 years when I was going through different fitness contests and I was getting medals and honorable mentions, he never charged me any of that time. So when I was ready to move my property, I called him up and I said, you can have my gym. Amazing. You can have my gym.
Amazing. Good.
And he was speechless, but he came with his family and he kept saying, why? Why me? And I'm saying, it's my joy. It is my joy to give it. And as I was giving it, I got something, feeling fantastic. I had a magic collection. I've been a magician since I was a little kid. I'm a lifetime member of the Society of American Magicians. So I had a giant collection of magic. I called up the guy who had influenced me the most in magic, Kent Cummins. And I said, Kent, if you'll come and get it, you can have my magic collection. And like anybody else that I've given anything to, they're speechless, they're dumbfounded, they're confused, they're trying to comprehend. But what I was getting was the $1 billion payoff that raised my vibration, that is going to pull in and is already pulling in the equivalent or 10 times more in unexpected, joyous ways from other places. So it's not a loss for me. I don't think of it as a loss at all. This is a win-win. It's vibrational giving, and the payoff comes from the giving.
I absolutely love that. And you really have taught me that. I've never sold any material around. I've given away all the cars that I've had, which probably 6, 7, 8 different cars now. All my fancy clothes I don't wear anymore. Just gave the next door neighbours, I think his 12-year-old son, his first Gucci and Versace tops, so he could go into school and have confidence with the girls. All right, disclaimer, you don't get confidence from wearing Gucci, but a 12-year-old boy might get a little something from it. But it's glorious. And what you pointed to there with the vibrational giving, it feels tremendous, like it shifts my energy tremendously and it helps me fall in love with life. Like the more you give, I think Alan Watts said that to the truly enlightened man, giving is the most obvious and natural thing, or man and woman, that when you're experiencing true abundance, of course you're going to give it away. The idea of hanging on to it or holding on is ludicrous, but you have to get into that energy. And this is what you helped me to do, to test. See if you can outgive the universe, Carl. See what happens when you understand money is about appreciation. So anytime you spend money, if it's a bill, really appreciate the fact that, oh, I'm paying the mortgage or whatever. Wow, I got to live here. Appreciate the food or the phone bill, and then appreciate the people in your life as well. And, you know, you help me fall in love with my clients, the business, even more in every way, because it is that energy. Now, I've got a few more questions, but I do want to bring attention now for a couple of minutes to the fact that you have created, I mean, we always do amazing special offers and that for my audience, but this is on a whole other level. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready for this. I'm going to post a little link in the chat. The first 10 people to get this, I'm going to give an extra $3,000 bonus to, but there's going to be bonuses for everyone. I'm going to get Joe to talk about it, but this is his Zero Limits Method Manifesting Program. It's a collection of 3 of his best programs: Money, Love, Speed, the 3-day rule, which is sensational, and the missing secret, plus a $2,000 bonus from Joe. And it's $3, $3 US. Now, I've put the link there. I'm going to say the first 33 people to get it, I'm going to give my $3,000 Money Magic Intensive and Lifestyle Freedom Trilogy, which is how to build online businesses and get paid. They sold out at $3 grand. For everyone who gets it, I'm going to give you my brand new program, Magnificent Manifesting, which Joe, you'll love. It's a month-long program where every day for a month, they get a different little audio lesson, guided nebulization, visualization. And the people that did the class live, oh shit, I put the link in the wrong place. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to post it now. Thanks, everyone's asking. Slight technical snafu. There it is. Give it a little click. That should work. I mean, this sold out, and the transformation, like people in a month manifested, you know, the most magnificent things.
Nice.
Energy, the money, the car, new jobs, tremendous. So it's a month-long program. Everyone's going to get that. But if you're quick, I'm going to give you a $3 grand bonus as well. And remember, this is $3. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about Money, Love, Speed, the 3-day rule, and the missing secret. Like, what sort of transformation are people going to go through going through these programs?
Well, we've given them the tiniest drop of a taste in what we've been doing for almost an hour now. And my point is, there is a lot of misconceptions, fallacies, misunderstandings that are out there around the law of attraction, the secret, creating what you want, manifesting, which explains why a lot of people are grumbling. A lot of people are saying, well, I tried such and such and it didn't work for me, or I did such and such and I didn't get what I wanted, or I got the opposite of it, so they're disillusioned. What I've done here, Carl, is put together 3 packages, which is the ultimate course in manifesting what you want. I'm calling it the Zero Limits Method because in actuality, there are no limits in our lives. I know immediately people go, oh, what about this or what about that? Those are beliefs. We've bought into beliefs and then we say those are limits. But in reality, there are no limits. And so I come from the perspective that you really can have, do, or be what you want if you understand how the brain works, how the esoteric internet works, and some of these other principles. So I put the best of the best. The 3-day rule, for example, this is a head spinner because I tell people, look, what you're thinking and what you're feeling right now will tend to manifest in 3 days.
Life-changing, this one.
Yeah, this is really an awakening. This is really an awakening because I point out the reason it typically doesn't is that you change your mind right after you state what you want. You'll state, I want to have more money and I believe I'm going to have more money and I feel I'm going to have more money. And then right after it, you'll go, that'll never happen.
Big shout out, Jenny, Maisie, Linda, Estreen, already in. Shanna's in as well. Congratulations. Let you know, just forward your receipt to carl@carlharvey.com. Ramika's in, and tomorrow I will, my sister is calling me for the first time in a month. It was on Do Not Disturb. Sorry. Jade Harvey, Clyde's in, Omar's in, oh, brilliant. Smiley's in, Smiley or Smiley, Irene, oh, so many, loads. Brilliant. I'll hook you all up. So send me your receipt, I'll do it tomorrow. Shout out Del Cornish, my glorious stepfather. So my stepdad's here, the one I mentioned earlier. He's lovely man. Helped me a lot as well. And then my sister.
So one of the programs is the 3-day rule, but that's only one of 3. And the next one is called The Missing Secret. And Carl, I think this is my contribution to the success literature of the world.
Sure.
I know when I read Think and Grow Rich, I got to the end and I thought, I read it, how come I'm not rich? And I read The Magic of Believing and I thought, well, I believe it, how come I don't have the wealth? Or
Yeah.
I went through all of these different things. And what was missing is the understanding that there are intentions, but there's also what you and I call counter intentions.
Yeah.
The counter intentions are the limiting beliefs in our subconscious mind. And so the missing secret is, if you want your intention to come true, you got to make sure you find and delete or replace even the counter intentions, the negative beliefs. So I have a whole program I put together just to explain the missing secret all by itself. That's how important it is. And as far as I know, there are no other self-help teachers talking about this, Carl. You know about it, I know about it, but I think people don't understand that the 3-day rule is real. They don't understand that the missing secret is real. They don't understand that the third product, which is Money, Love, Speed, which is a phenomenal, I say phenomenal, I wrote it, so I guess it's kind of...
I can humbly confirm that Money, Love, Speed is phenomenal. Yes, phenomenal. 8 Laws of Money.
Yeah, the 8 laws of money. These are the 8 mental laws. I don't talk about real estate investing or banking or stocks and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that. I have people who do that. But I talk about the mindset, because when you understand the 8 laws of money, you free yourself to allow money to come into your life at an accelerated rate. And in fact, that's one of the beauties of this entire system. These 3 packages, not only the whole package of 3 items, not only helps you fine tune what you want, get clear for what you want, but as you do these things, you accelerate your results. You achieve what you want.
For this? Usually I make a fortune if I interview you. So why are we doing $3 today instead of 300 or 3,000? Because also there's a surprise bonus. I don't want to give the surprise away that Joe's giving, but that's a $2,000 bonus.
Yeah, I was torn with what to charge, because first of all, I've given so much away in my life practicing karmic marketing, but I kept having this feeling that a lot of people would receive things that are given for free, but not really act on it, not really respect it, not really give it its due. And then I thought, well, maybe I should charge a whole lot. But at the same time, I know a lot of people would look at that as a barrier to entry and say, well, I can't afford that. Or a lot of people buying into a pandemic and troubled times would say, I can't really spend that. So I had to find a happy medium. And I thought, $3. It's not free, and it's not $1,000. It's worth $1,000. But $3 says you put a tiny little skin in the game. Maybe by investing $3, you'll go through this program. And once you do, you will change your life. And I'm also counting on the fact that once you go through the program, you will have so much money coming in, you'll spend some on me and you'll spend some on Carl. So the $3 will come back multiplied down the road. But for now,
I want to give some shout outs. Brilliant. So Dale, Anya, Mo, Tia, Omar, Nicole, Ramika's in, Maisie's in, Nicole's in as well. Clyde, what up? Avi's in. Sensational. I will put this on an email later, but email carl@carlharvey.com. If you put the subject line, Joe Vitale bonus, something like that, so I can see it. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through them all. I'm going to send you a link where you can get Magnificent Manifesting and the collection of the Money Magic Intensive, my online business training courses as well. Pure love, pure giving, looking after you. But make sure that you start going through this, because Money, Love, Speed, I've been studying for a decade. It's an incredible program. The 8 Laws of Money, the way Joe explains how to take inspired action, how to get paid doing what you love, shifting your beliefs and mindset around money. Fantastic program. I've gone through it dozens of times over the years. The 3-day rule is relatively new to me. And it's trippy as you like. The basic premise is that anything you're focusing on now, 3 days from now, you're going to see evidence of it come up. So it's a really, with the counter intentions, often it's hard for us to have a big goal or dream and keep focus on it and be like, forever and ever until it comes. What Joe teaches you to do is, like, let's hold off for 3 days. Let's have 3 days of focus on this. And it's fun. It's a great challenge. You're going to be bewildered and bemused and gloriously in love with the results of playing with that. And then the missing secret, as Joe said, like, this is what he feels is his big contribution. I humbly disagree on the grounds that you've made, I mean, dozens of contributions to this world. And the secret £2 bonus, not to mention what I'm giving you as well, and the chance to hang around Joe and his energy and his vibration. And I mean, it's an incredible deal. I'm going to put the link one more time because there's so many people saying, yes, you've got it on the live chat. Oh, and if you're watching the replay, the link will be below, and I'm going to hook you up. Have you got a couple of minutes to answer a couple of questions if people have
Sure,
got
bring them to me. Yeah, what do we got?
Got a question for Joe, get them in. I'm going to ask you one while we're waiting, but get your questions in. You, Dr. Joe Vitale, are a prolific creator. The Karmic Marketing, for example, the new one that you're doing, this offer, the courses, God knows how many books you've written, the movies. Yet, I've never seen you stressed, busy, or like burned out, working hard. How? Like, what is the secret to being such a prolific creator and hustling and making all that, you know, expressing yourself and creating all these streams of income and having a huge impact on millions of people, yet not being that crazy busy stressed? How'd you do that?
I love the question. Well, first of all, whenever you've seen me, I'm de-stressed because I'm seeing you. Your energy relaxes me, beats me, makes me smile just hanging around you. And I mean that truthfully. You're sunshine. You really are sunshine. The other thing, and I've answered this for other people because I've written 80 books. I've recorded 15 music albums. I probably have 200 products. And I travel around the world, at least before the pandemic, going to all kind of countries, doing all kind of things. And I have coaching programs, mentoring programs. I don't know. I have all kind of things going on. What I tell people is none of it happens all at the same time.
Right. Interesting.
That is the key. So if I was working on a book this afternoon, I wouldn't be writing 18 books this afternoon. I'd be writing the one book. And tomorrow, if I woke up and was in the studio to record a song or write some new music, I wouldn't be in there also writing books. I'd be in there doing one thing, the music. So typically it's one thing at a time. My first book was 1984. And in 1984, if somebody had said, hey, Joe, you're going to write 80 books in your lifetime, it would be impossible. It would be inconceivable. It's like I don't have 80 ideas, but you do one at a time. And then at some point in the future, you turn around, look back and go, how did I do that? 80 books, 15 music CDs. So the short answer is one at a time. It's all fun.
So simple. Hallelujah. Brilliant. Great advice. Right. Quick question from Sarah Bouton. Joe, when something really negative is in your face and keeps bothering you, how do you stay in a high vibration so you can attract what you want rather than more of the same things that you don't want?
Well, the very first thing is I acknowledge what's going on, because if there's something that is negative that's in my face, it's probably in my face to get my attention. So I have to see, what is this about? Is there something I need to resolve? Is there some belief in me that attracted it that maybe I need to look at, and so I can delete it? And then once I've given it its attention, because it's trying to get my attention. So once I've given it its momentary intention, so I can get whatever the insight is and handle it, then I got to distract myself.
Oh, go on.
And distract myself. You know it, Carl. This is when you put on the music you love the most, the music that makes you sing and dance. It just makes you happy just to think about it. Or you go and watch the movie that always made you laugh or always made you think how crazy or how stupid it was, but it distracted you. Or you go and do something physical. You go for a walk, you go for a run. I have a pool here. I go swimming almost every day. I got a hot tub. I go in the hot tub almost every night. So you do some of the things that will distract you, but I'm not in favor of burying a feeling or a negativity, because typically you bury it alive. Typically it's got to come back. So I have to give it its due to find out what's the message, what needs to be resolved. And once I've taken care of that, distract myself and get into a high vibe thing. This is one reason that I think reading Carl's material, doing what he asked you to do, reading my material as well, is all designed to bring your vibe up. These are all choices we have, and these are all tools we have at our disposal.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to put the link one more time. We've gone over the allotted hour. Joe, final. I mean, thank you. Love you, man. You're a boss. Amazing. It's the best one yet. Final thing I'd ask you is, in this present moment, what any insights, thoughts, ahas that you would love to share with my beautiful people who are all around the world who have come to see you today?
There's so many things I can say in this moment. The very first one I would say is thank you, Carl, for putting this together, always being my friend, always being supportive, and doing this for your family, your followers, your fans. It's a great gift. And the $3 offer, this is between Carl and I to all of you. This is out of the goodness of his heart, and I'm contributing. So I would say there's so many things to focus on, but the number one thing is gratitude. If you want to shift your energy, if you want to be in a new vibration, if you want to be in the present moment, which is really the miracle, find something in this moment to be grateful for. And it does not have to be an earth-shaking thing. I told a famous pencil story where I held up a pencil and flippantly started to say, oh, I'm grateful for the pencil, when I really wasn't. But as I started to talk about all the things I can do with the pencil, I started to truly feel impressed and then truly feel grateful. So it doesn't matter what it is. Just look around and make it up at first, fake it till you make it, and start feeling gratitude, because gratitude is the single most powerful thing that'll change your thinking, change your mindset, change your vibration, open your heart, put you back into the flow of life, put you back into the miracle, which is the present moment. And so I would say gratitude.
Big. I love it. So grateful for you and for everything you told me. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. If you're watching the replay, the link will be below. Go treat yourself. $3. Some of Joe's finest work, and just 3 incredible programs, and the secret bonus for him and my bonuses. Dr. Joe Vitale, you're an absolute boss. On the live chat, let Joe know how much you love him and how awesome this has been. But sincerely, man, thank you. I mean, there's a handful of people who've really had a profound impact on me, and yeah, you're certainly one of them. And can't wait for you to send me that goat. I mean, your mate gets the Bentley or the gym, the $100,000 gym, and all the magic tricks. I get a goat. Fine, I'll take it. Thank you, thank you.
Feed it well. All right. Godspeed to everybody.
Love you, Joe Vitale. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and big love, Joe Vitale, biggest boss. Thank you. Peace. Expect miracles, isn't it? Bye, mate.